If only I had spidey senses, so I can tell when something's wrong. Oh, and I'm set to protect this heart from breaking into pieces. Where's my hammer? Where's the shield? All the strength to carry the weight of the world. Fly high into the sky. I'll catch you if you fall. I'll catch you if you fall. Fly high into the sky. I'll catch you if you fall. I'll catch you if you fall.
Now, here's your host, DJ Host with the Most.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the latest episode of Snap Decisions. I am your Snap DJ, your host with the most. Not so late this week, getting it out on a Wednesday. I planned to do it yesterday, but of course, you know, I always have to be that one day late. It's just the thing. I've got a lot to talk about today, and I really didn't think that I would have something that I just kind of posted earlier today. But you know what? Again, this just goes to show me how disgusting the X universe can be. And boy, do I wish that Blue Sky would take off. I really wish that something else would come along because I hate it. I hate X. I really do. There's some wonderful people there, but for the most part, there are just a lot of morons and idiots and horrible people there that use the word woke way too much. Way too much. It's become a word for them to use for anything that they hate. And to be honest with you, I don't even think they understand what it means. But I'll get to that in a little bit because I posted something just a little while ago about something that I saw in Snap and how I felt about it. But obviously, you know, you can't post anything like that because, God forbid you take a stance on something that you believe in. And then all the little, Twitterites and morons and slime of the earth come out of the woodwork when they see it and basically just attack you because they have to, right? Because they feel like that they need to do it. And it's, it's just crazy. But again, I should know better. Twitter is literally the worst. It's the worst app that's out there for, any kind of social media thing. It is absolutely the worst one of them all. So, but I'll get to that in a bit. But we have a lot of other stuff to talk about this week too. Let me see what I have on the agenda here. I did put it out there. Let's see. So we're going to talk about Discard Mania. Wow. I mean, I knew that, listen, whenever you put out a big dumb idiot in this game, everybody's going to play it. That's just what it proved to me. What I got proven to me this week. And I knew it. When I saw Weapon H, I'm like, it's going to be the most popular card of this entire, probably this entire month. Because whenever somebody sees a big number, their eyes pop out of their head and they're like, oh yeah, man, I got to play that. And not to mention the already amount of people that play Discard. And, and I'm not sure why. I knew it was going to get played and I knew Discard was going to get played. What I didn't see coming were the variations of Discard that got played because I didn't really think that was going to happen. So we'll get into that. And then, also in the spin, a Star Wars digital card game. Oh man. There are naysayers already about it because of the company that they are working with and its relation to Marvel Snap in the past. But I am very excited about that. In case you didn't know, I could be about as big or bigger of a Star Wars fan as I am Marvel Comics and DC Comics. dating back to when I first saw the original, which, by the way, is celebrating its 50th anniversary and is coming back to theaters, not the remade garbage editions, the ones that Lucas wanted to redo with the lost footage and all that kind of stuff that are the only ones you could see now. This is the original, the OG. The ones before all the altered stuff and everything like that is going to come out. Now, I don't know if they're going to do it with Empire or Return of the Jedi, but at least the original Star Wars is coming. The only way you could see those is if you had the VHS tapes, which I still do. But I am super excited about this. I saw it on Twitter, and then I saw Regis Kilbin talked about it, a couple other creators. And then I had to go investigate it for myself. This is going to be something that, if it is any good, now I've played some bad Star Wars games. I played the first Star Wars card game, the Decipher game that came out around the time of Magic, and stuff like that, which was cool. A lot of, they were using all the movie footage and everything like that. Cool, but it was very, very, very difficult to play and also very long. The games would last. I remember playing once at my buddy's house, and it took us almost like 2.5 hours to finish a game, which is crazy. But it lasted for a good while. And so I'm excited about this, and I'm going to get in on the ground floor of it, I could tell you that. I have mentioned how I want to try to start streaming stuff, and this might be the key to it. Like I said, if the game comes out and it's any good, now I don't know how long this is going to be because it just got announced yesterday. So I don't know if they've been working on it. I don't know if it's ready. I don't know if it's far from ready. A lot of the game stuff that's been talked about lately, a lot of it's coming next year. It could be the end of next year. So this could be far away. But in any case, I am going to attempt streaming it and get into that because that's something that I always kind of wanted to do. And with a new game, with a new game like this and the Star Wars genre, which I know a ton about, I'm looking forward to it. So we'll talk about that a little bit in the spin. We got the request line with your comments about Snap over the last 3 years. That was the question I had for the week. Then we go to Snap Talk, my week in the game, early thoughts on Weapon H, variants, decks, and more. My early thoughts on the big man there, you might be kind of surprised. It seems, at least from how much I played it, to be kind of just a replacement for some of the static cards that are in the deck. People are trying to get greedy with it and use it with Apocalypse and use it with Khonshu. To me, I don't think it works well that way. I think it's too much. And you get to a point where, what are you going to do? Like, are you going to play the Khonshu on turn 6? Are you going to play the Apocalypse on turn 6? Are you going to have a Dracula to maybe get 2 of them? But you're not going to get the use of all 3 in most cases unless you're very, very, very lucky. So, and then, of course, I saw Hela playing it, which made 0 sense to me. Hela made 0 sense to me. But, yeah, what are you going to do? The minute people see a big card, they automatically think to, oh, boy, I got to play Hela. So we'll talk a little bit about that. Variants, decks, of course, and stuff like that. Then we'll go over to the comics corner. We'll talk about Weapon H and comics and look at my picks of the week as far as reading material is concerned. Then we'll go to the MCU Minute. 4 possible Doomsday trailers coming out probably next Thursday. They're all going to be very short, a minute and a half maybe or so. But there may be 4 different ones that you may get that they're going to try to sell those Avatar tickets, man. Because apparently that's going to be how it's going to be shown, at least for the first little while. And we'll also go into... We'll go into some gaming news. I said that I was going to be doing that with Marvel Cosmic Invasion. I have played it, so I'll go over that a little bit, my gaming experience with that, and what I would like to see from that upcoming Star Wars game that I mentioned before. Then we'll go into Guess the Lyric, and we'll finish it all out there. All right, so now I had someone... First of all, I'll start right off. I had someone do the Guess the Lyric. This time it came from the comments on Spotify. So it came from my comments that I got over on Spotify, which is always very cool. Of course, I had to apologize because a lot of times I don't get to check these as much as I would like, but I'm glad I did. And the person who did actually got the last two. And the person's name is Marin Hondius. Marin Hondius. I hope I pronounced that right. I got the Led Zeppelin Immigrant Song, of course, for Thor Love and Thunder, which was last week's. And then this week, it was a song by The Cure called Lullaby. And they got that one too. So that's very awesome. Thank you so much for listening to the show and for getting those. So that's very, very cool. And Voltron Pilot also was guessing at it, said but he couldn't remember, said, thought we had a conversation about the song before. We may have. But congrats to Marin for getting both of those. And he said, he writes here in his comments also, congrats for being my most listened to podcast of 2025. And he writes in parentheses, ahead of Alex, KM, Glazer, and Snap on This. That is extremely flattering. Those guys are all amazing. I've obviously bowed to those people. They are great people. Glazer, of course, I've gotten to know very well. Snap on This, everyone there as well. KM and Alex, of course, I know who they are. And, KM is I quote him a lot and, all the stuff that he does for Snap. I get a lot of decks and stuff from him. And then, of course, Alex Kocha, seems to be, and at least from everybody I hear, talk about him, one of the nicest guys that's out there in Marvel Snap. So, that's a huge compliment, Marin. And I can't appreciate it enough. Thank you so much, for listening. I really, really appreciate you. All right. So there you go. So, let's get into the spin, shall we? So, first off, we're going to start off with Discard Mania. And like I said, of course, we knew this was coming, with Weapon H, that everybody was going to be playing it. But again, I didn't expect, when I got online to start playing yesterday, and I tried it out, in a couple different decks. I tried it out in, just that standard list with, like I said, it had Khonshu in it, Apocalypse in it, Scorn, Morbius, the usual suspects in discard. Lady Sif was in there, and stuff. I didn't have Dracula in it. Proxima Midnight was in there. MODOK was in there. But what I saw was that I found myself at the end of the game, especially if I didn't get lucky and get Weapon H early and wasn't able to discard him down, he became kind of a nuisance because he ended up being kind of stuck there where he's sitting at 7 or he's sitting at 6, and I didn't really get a chance to even do anything with him, and he ended up being a nuisance and getting played in there, and it didn't really, go anywhere. Now if he got stuck there and then I played my MODOK, he's still a 5, and then what do you play on turn 6? You're probably not playing him because you might have a Khonshu already at 6/12, so you're going to definitely play that to get the 2/12s out there. So you're really not going to play him. So I think that many people just assumed that the card would fit right into that type of deck, but I don't think it does. And I think the people that I'm seeing be successful with that are players who they're not playing that style. They're playing, Dracula's a good call to play, but they're not playing with all those big characters. In fact, some of them that I saw playing it were taking out the Apocalypse of their deck because it just didn't make any sense to have all 3 of those big guys in there. So I don't know if you guys are feeling that as well, but that's how it came off to me. And that was at least that. The other thing too with me in discard, I never get MODOK. Or I get it way too early in the game, and then I can't play it. It kind of just sits there, or it gets discarded if I'm playing. Because I think I tried. What was I trying? Hela. I think I tried a Hela list with it too, and I ended up discarding the MODOK like almost every time. But in any case, what do I think of the card? I mean, again, he's a big dumb idiot. I wouldn't be surprised if other people have found a different way. Now you have to discard him But I wouldn't be surprised to see a deck come out that maybe has one or two discard cards in it, like maybe a Blade or maybe a Corvus, or maybe a Lady Sif, and not much else. And maybe it might have other aspects of a deck. I wouldn't be surprised, though, if that happens, because it just doesn't seem, I don't know, it just doesn't seem that great to me as far as on curve. Some people may tell me different, but at least for what I was seeing, and again, I was never getting my MODOK. I would either not get it at all until the very end of the game when I couldn't really use it anymore, or I wouldn't get it at all, or something like that. So that's usually how I am with this card. When the other players that I see play are getting it all the time, and are doing much better with it than I am. But it's neither here nor there. But that was my experience with the card. I kind of think it's a little bit boring. And it's like I said, it's cool, but I kind of think people may have expected better. Now I'm sure, when you get it down to like one cost and you get that luck of a draw where you could just keep hitting it and hitting it and hitting it, then yeah, it's going to be very impactful at a 1, or I think I even got it down as a 0 at one point. It's going to be very impactful, but to do that, you kind of have to start discarding it right from the start. And if you do that and you get it down that low, but then that could end up being one of the only things that you have to play at the end. And then you have to ask yourself, could the Apocalypse, many times you can get up to 20, sometimes 22, I've even seen a couple of 24, and then that'll end up going into the Dracula, making a Dracula huge. So at most out of this guy, you're going to get a 14. So I just don't know. I mean, you can tell me, guys, in the comments or whatever, what your experience was with it, but I don't quite think it's the card that everyone maybe kind of thought it was going to be. A lot of people were kind of salivating, thinking, "Oh man, I'm going to have giant apocalypse. I'm going to have this, and I'm going to have the Khonshu thing going on." That's not the case. You're not always going to have that, and in most cases, because the Khonshu technically gives you 24 points, and the Apocalypse can give you 20-some points, this guy's the odd man out. He's going to give you 14 tops. So I kind of think that people are going to start to see the light and realize that he's maybe not as great as a lot of people think he is. So that was my, that's my... I know I ranked them pretty high, too. I think I might have ranked them the number 1 card of the month, but I don't think that's going to be the case. After seeing what happens with those decks, I don't think that that's going to be the case. I don't think he's going to be the best card this month. So yeah, those are my thoughts on that and on Weapon H. We'll get back to him in a little bit when we go into Comics Corner, and we'll talk about him in comics. All right, so let's get to the news about the Star Wars game. Now, like I said, I saw it from a few people who shared it. So I went and looked it up, and I went to StarWars.com, and I found this little snippet, this little article that they had on their site. So what it says here: Lucasfilm Games, 036 Studio, and CCG Lab are teaming up for a brand new collectible card game for Android, iOS, and PC. Build decks featuring an all-star roster of your favorite characters like Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader. Now, see that? A lot of people and a lot of creators were kind of wondering, because Snap has been pretty successful, right? At least until maybe recently. They've been pretty successful with this game. And I think that, look, if it ended today, and if there was no more Snap and it ended today, I think that you would say that Snap was very successful in what they did. And I pretty much anyone would agree with that. including me. So I think, and what you heard people talking about, other creators talking about and stuff would be, when is it going to be the case where someone copies Snap? A lot of people maybe thought Pokemon would do that. They didn't. But maybe with what they're saying here, build decks featuring an all-star roster of your favorite characters like Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader. So this may be kind of a Snap clone. They might be using characters to battle in the decks, right? Very similar to Snap, where you're playing with characters. They're using locations and stuff like that, and you're playing the characters on the locations. They may be doing something very similar here, and I wouldn't be shocked at all, because they're going to try to follow another game that did very well. So it would not surprise me one bit if that's going to be the case, and especially with this kind of little hint here. In a Star Wars game that will bring the saga to life in a fresh new way for the genre. Now that may say otherwise because it's saying fresh new way, but it still could be. It still could be kind of a. It could still be kind of a Snap-esque game. So, even though it's saying a fresh new way, it'll have its differences. It's not going to be an exact copy, but it could still be, it could still be doing something completely different. So, just speculating, Together with 036 Studio and Lucasfilm Games, we're creating something truly exciting for players and fans alike. An experience that celebrates the joy of play in a galaxy far, far away. Corey Jones, CEO of CCG Lab, says, our mission is to craft an experience that captures the thrill, adventure, and the heart of Star Wars. A game that feels instantly familiar, yet constantly surprising. See it again there. Instantly familiar, right? Now, that could be because you're familiar with the characters. I mean, there's not too many people that are probably out there that has never heard of Star Wars. So maybe that's what they mean there, but I'm just trying to read between the lines a little bit. Another quote, the opportunity to develop a game for the Star Wars galaxy is a profound honor for our studio, adds Hades Liu, head of 036 Studio. Stay tuned to StarWars.com for more news and announcements about the game in development. So, now, apparently, I had read that 036, I believe, was associated or is associated with Newverse in some way. I should look that up. Let's see. Let's look up 036 games here. But I think I heard one of the other creators talk about this. And this came from Star Wars Leaks. We are excited to announce that we are working with 036 Studio and CCG Lab to develop a brand new digital collectible card game where players can battle across Star Wars Galaxy. Stay tuned for future updates. This was on Reddit. Other leaks pointed to Knights of the Old Republic related, and this press release feels more like partner announcement rather than game announcement. Let's see. I want to just see if there's anything about. I want to. Like I said, I heard someone say that they had. Here, let's see if this comes up. 036 Studio, video game developer headquartered in Shanghai, China, and a subsidiary of ByteDance. Okay, a subsidiary of ByteDance, and ByteDance, I think, was the one that New Verse was with. So there were people speculating that, oh no, because, before Snap kind of went out on their own, they were with New Verse for a long period of time. And a lot of people complained about New Verse because they didn't like a lot of the things that New Verse was doing and stuff like that. So now they're kind of reversing course a little bit, because now they're seeing some of the things that Snap's doing that they don't necessarily like either, especially with their new shop and all that kind of stuff and the monetary stuff. People might be realizing a little bit that it wasn't all New Verse's issue. But in any case, look, I'm excited for all the reasons that I mentioned earlier. Anytime that, and I said this before, when a game is out there for a long time like Snap is, anytime you can get some competition, especially from a big license, it's a good thing, right? Now, supposedly this same studio may have also been working with that DC game that failed. The one that came out around or a little after, did they come out a little after Snap did? I don't remember. It might have been around the same time, because some of the creators were actually going to play it. Regis Kilbin, I think, was going to play it. And there were going to be some other ones that were going to play it too. And then the game just never got off the ground and just kind of died. So some people are saying that this company is also part of that as well. That I don't know. But I'm just hoping, being a fan of the genre, I'm just hoping that that is going to be the case. I'm hoping that it is successful. I'm hoping it's fun. And because of that, like I said, I'm going to probably get myself into some streaming and start game streaming for the first time that I ever have done that. And yeah, so I'm looking forward to doing that. And I know that it's going to be fun. Like I said, I love Star Wars, always have, ever since I was a young kid. And I'm gonna really, really be excited to play it. So hopefully it's good. We shall see. But yeah, that's all we have about it so far. We'll find out if indeed this is we're gonna get more news on it. It says it's in development, so it could be a while. It could be a while. But I am very, very happy to see it because, again, I'm a huge Star Wars fan. I did play a lot of Star Wars stuff, card games, video games, and all that, just because of the fact that I like it. So, all right. Well, so that is the spin. And I am... let me just get to this. They did a balance update for Snap, if you didn't already know this, for Grand Arena. Of course, everybody was not thrilled about the fact that you couldn't custom make decks. And the Black Panther deck went wild, which, not surprised. Everybody loves playing the Panther stuff, the Zola stuff. I mean, that's been around since Snap's been around, and everybody still loves it. It's the whole big dumb philosophy. I'm just going to make my thing way too big, and you're not going to be able to handle it. That sounded bad. Anyway, so they did change some things. The Black Panther deck got hit the worst. Wakanda Forever cost went from 5 cost to 6. Grandmaster and Shuri are out. And in they put in Sebastian Shaw and Awesome Andy. So the Thanos deck, Inevitable, went from 4 cost to 2 cost, because that one is just a convoluted mess. I was really hoping that would be good. It is definitely not good. I really don't think this is going to help it. Rocket Raccoon, out went Gamora and Groot, and in went Beast and Prowler. So that one's kind of fun. And then the Sentinel deck, Project Armageddon, 4 cost went to 3. Out went Bastion, and in came Kahori. And then, of course, Captain America's deck, out went Captain Carter, and in went Punisher. So they did make changes to those decks. I don't know. There are many people that just didn't like it. Just didn't like that they couldn't change it. And I know people were in the devs and they were kind of hollering about it. And Glenn came back and said that at least for now, they think they're going to keep it like this. They like the static decks, And they said they're going to make some changes and see how that works and take into account the players' consideration and opinions. But they may end up keeping it this way. So we shall see. We shall see how that goes. All right. I think that's it. Let me think of what else is. Tomorrow, and this is of course not Snap related, but it is there is a movie trailer coming tomorrow, and that is Supergirl. So we are going to get the first trailer for Supergirl tomorrow, which is exciting. I would recommend that comic book, I think is it called Woman of Tomorrow? Have to look it up. Yes, Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. Fantastic read. If you have never read it and you read DC books, I would highly recommend it. They are supposedly adapting that story into the film. And, of course, we're getting Lobo. Jason Momoa always wanted to play Lobo. He's going to get his shot, and he's going to get a chance to play Lobo. Now, Lobo, I'm not going to give it away. But yeah, if you can read it, check it out. But the trailer comes out tomorrow, so that's pretty exciting. I'm excited to see that. They're giving little snippets of it, kind of teasing. And the Doomsday trailer, like I said, is coming out next week. Next Thursday. So, but that is attached to the movies. I don't know if they'll put it on anywhere else right away. Like if you'll see it on television or you'll see it anywhere else for the first little while anyway. They're going to have it in front of Avatar because of course that's a Disney property and they're going to want people to go see it. So that's exciting. And then rumors that Spider-Man Brand New Day is going to have its first trailer. But that will be attached to the Super Bowl, to this year's Super Bowl, which, that kind of makes a lot of sense as well, because, that the Doomsday is coming out much later than Spider-Man. Well, not much later, half a year, I guess, July, August, September, October, November. Yeah. Doomsday is coming out later and getting the first trailer, but again, it's only a teaser. The Spider-Man one, I would imagine, will be a full-length trailer. That will probably get during Super Bowl month, which is February, of course. So, all right, okay. Well, let's get moving here and move along to the next part of the show. So next up, we have the request line, and of course, this is the part of the show where it's all up to you. So now I was going to put this in the. I was going to put this in the spin, but I'll go over it now, okay? This is the comment this is what I was talking about that I just stuck on Twitter and kind of what I led off the show with about all the horrible responses that I got from some people who should be ashamed of themselves, really. And if you're listening, you know who you are, because I've probably blocked you already. I had to block probably at least 7 people, I think, from this thread so far. Because they're just gross and disgusting, and you, like I said, they use the word woke way too much, and I don't even think they know what it means. But what I posted was genuinely what my feelings were, and guess what, folks, and folks on X, I'm allowed to post whatever I feel like on my own Twitter, and none of your bellowing or calling things names or making fun of me or whatever is going to stop me from doing it. So you're not going to bully me around. I'm a little too old for that, to be bullied by a bunch of morons. But this is what I put out there. I saw the location for today. Okay. And of course it's hospice. And it says hospice changes to card power are doubled here. Okay. What I didn't like wasn't the name of it itself. I understand it's a Marvel thing. I get it. What I didn't like about it is the quote, or the little blurb they put on the thing. And it says, "The rest of your life starts here," with an exclamation point. To me, it was a little cringy. Okay. Am I saying that, oh my God, this is the worst thing I've ever seen? No. But that's how the morons on Twitter are acting, right? But overreacting to things like they normally do. I am reacting to it because I've known people, nurses, doctors, and others who have worked in hospice. Okay? And it is one of probably the most probably one of the most hard jobs you could ever hope to have. If you don't understand what hospice is, go look it up. It's a place where people are taken when they have terminal cancer. It's a place where people are taken because they are on life support or can't take care of themselves anymore. And it's basically a last place that person's going to go before they pass away. Okay? That's what it is. Now, if you don't know or never knew what it was, well, I understand that because I'm sure there's probably a lot of young people that are out there that are playing Snap that may have never heard about that before. And that's perfectly fine. But when this little blurb says the rest of your life starts here with an exclamation point, I found it to be a little bit cringe. Because who is excited? An exclamation point means exciting, right? Or did I not learn punctuation correctly? It means that, you know what? In fact, for the sake of the pod, right? For the sake of the pod, let's look up the meaning of an exclamation point. Adds emphasis or conveys strong emotions like excitement, surprise, or happiness. What is exciting or happy about a place where people are going to die? And that's how I associated it. And now I'm not telling everybody they need to agree with me. In fact, nowhere on this post did I say that. I wrote, not sure about you, but I think this is kind of cringe. In fact, I think that's inviting people to comment, right? Which I guess maybe I shouldn't have done that. I know several nurses who have and do work in hospice. I understand this is associated with a Marvel place, but the catchphrase, exclamation point representing excitement. And I wrote, come on, man. Now, I had some very supportive people that I know on Discord that agreed with me on it. And I had some horrible people on Twitter whom I've blocked pretty much all of already, basically berated it. So you can make up your own mind about anything in this life. I, however, when I first saw it, thought it was not good. I didn't like it, right? And so I get called woke, which, like I said, I don't even understand how, people I don't think know what that means. I really don't think they know what that means. I get told, go find something else to pick on, blah, 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 blah. Well, listen, morons. And I really hope you're listening. I kind of doubt you do, but I really kind of hope you're listening. And I meant that comment for not everybody who's listening, by the way. I meant it for the idiots on Twitter that responded in that respect. I'm not even going to go into it because I could spend a whole day talking about the Twitterites. But yeah, so that was what I put out here. Some were nice. I had one person say my mom worked 20 plus years in hospice. Someone, it's a bit off-putting. And for those of us who aren't familiar with the Marvel reference, we think of hospice as the last step before death. And then some people just didn't know what it was. Someone wrote that location makes me think of my stepdad's final days. It's important to keep reality and reality in the world, for example, Marvel apart. I don't think that's what I'm doing. It's not a matter of keeping Marvel apart from it. It's the fact how something was put into the game. If that didn't have an exclamation point on the end of that, I don't think it would have bothered me. I literally don't think it would have bothered me. So is how something was tagged. And to me, I don't know. It's just something that you have to. It's something that you just have to be aware of, I guess, a little bit. I'm not saying that they should be banished from making cards and they should be fired and all that kind of stuff. I'm not saying that. It was a silly little mistake, really, but it's just something that I think that should have been looked at a little harder and taken for what it was. But not at all surprised by the backlash that I got on it. It's insane, really. All right, so let's get into the other part of it, the good part of it. And we're going to go into what you guys said. I wrote, it's coming up on 3 years. Tell me what attracted you to Marvel Snap, and if you still play. Has your playing time decreased or stayed the same? Also, what has kept you playing the game this long? And I got some cool responses. So the first one's from Jake Jankowski. Honestly, it's a sheer lap of being the only game that stays at the same insane cadence as Yu-Gi-Oh! I've definitely skipped seasons, but I still love the game. Okay, yeah, thank you. Appreciate the share. Michael Miles Per Minute says, started playing since I like comics, and I was looking for a quick card game to replace Hearthstone, which I had dropped due to the long games. Playtime has decreased, crashes have sapped the will to open the game back up. Still play because it is fun and the community rocks. The community part of it is a lot of what I've heard and a lot of what I'm getting. So kudos to all of you who are in the Snap community and stuff like that, because apparently that's a lot of the reasons why people are playing still and people are sticking around and probably some of the creators as well. So kudos to you. Good answer. I love it. Adam says, I've been a lifelong gamer, and when my kids arrived, I found I didn't have time to game like I used to. Stealing 3 minutes at a time for a match is what drew me in. That's very, very logical explanation. My kids are old and grown, but I completely understand that. Red Eye Jedi says, congrats on 3 years, brother. It's been about a year since I last played Snap. Red Eye Jedi was the one who got me, actually, I played a Black Knight deck that he shared, and it got me to, I think, my first Infinite. So, hello, Red Eye Jedi. It's been a while. Do you think it's possible for me to start playing again without spending a small fortune on the cards? Tell No Big Deal and the kid, I said, what's up? Yeah, No Big Deal responded. That's awesome, too. I haven't heard from him in a while. And he says, hey, Red Eye, I hope all is well with you, bro. I've also been out for a little over a year. Haha, I've been playing mostly PoE2 these days. I hope the Snap packs are good to you on your return. Good luck on the ladder. Red Eye Jetty says, oh, no kidding. PoE2 is a phenomenal game. I just started my third playthrough on Baldur's Gate 3, so there goes all my free time. I'm still on the fence about getting back into Snap, but I hope all is well with you and your family. I think, well, they do have a returning player thing. No, actually not. They started a new player thing. The Snap packs probably would be okay for you if you decided to come back. It's much better than it used to be. So yeah, I mean, it'd be cool to see you back in the game if you do decide to come back. But anyway, thank you for the response. Lauren Whatever says, low-key pixel variants in the App Store images were a big part of the appeal. Then it was hearing that a favorite podcaster is into Snap that made me give it a try. That's awesome. Thank you, Lauren. Maria says, hi, what attracted me to Snap is that I wanted to try a strategic card game for the first time by curiosity. Actually, because of the bugs the game has, it's decreased a little my time to play. And I keep playing it because of the awesome people I've met thanks to it. The bugs are pretty bad, and I think this is from something KM Best mentioned, because someone put the thing about the bugs in his post for the hot takes, and then he came out and said that he's not seeing it. And he plays on an old Android phone. I think where these bugs are, and you guys could tell me, I think they're iOS related. I told you that I had to buy a brand new iPad to play it on an iPad. And now I'm starting to see a good amount of the bugs on my iPhone. And my iPhone isn't that old. It's 2 years old. It's an iPhone 15 Pro Max, which is the best one out there as far as the model is concerned. I've got plenty of memory on the phone, and I'm starting to see a lot more bugs. So I think these are iOS bugs that are strictly the ones that are problems. And you guys can tell me if that's true. I hope that's not the case, and I hope they're not like kind of slacking on designing for Apple, because I know that Apple can be kind of a pain in the butt, and they don't necessarily make it easy on designers with their security restrictions and a lot of that. And they did just put out an iOS only patch, which to me did nothing. It did nothing. The game is bad. It's very rough. You know, when I first log in, half of my cards are pink. You can't see the cards. Last night I was playing, and I undid my previous turn, and I was trying to move cards from where I put them, and it crashed. Got back in a couple seconds, and it crashed again. Got back in a couple seconds, and I tried to move the cards over, and the minute I did, it crashed again. So this is what I'm seeing, and I'm starting to believe that this is all on iOS. So like I said, I don't know whether or not Apple is making it harder for them to put out updates or stuff like that. I don't know. But I believe that this is an Apple thing. And if that's the case, a lot of people are going to be that if they don't get it fixed, they're going to lose a lot more players. And I don't think they can afford it. I really don't think they can afford it. Especially with an audience as big as people who have iPhones. And I would have to say, or have to think, knowing cell phones like I do, because I've worked in it for so long, that the amount of iPhones being sold are probably way outweighing the amount of Android phones being sold. I don't know that for sure. It's just a guess. But I would think that might be the case. So I hope they get that fixed. Andre Var14 says the ability to start playing right after release, the fast-paced gameplay that never gets boring, very beautiful and pleasing visuals, your own results in this game, although this is not the most important thing, but still. That's cool. Very positive. Thank you, Andrew. Canalo says I've played CCG since 1994. And read Marvel comics for about as long. In fact, my first FLG's was a comic book store, so I'm always game for any new Marvel CCG. I've considered dropping Snap several times, but I'm free to play, and for the past 2 years, I only play about 20 minutes daily. Well, that makes sense. You know, you have something that you're not playing very often. I have a few, like, apps and games that I do. I have a card collectible app for WWE that I just go on for like minutes a day. Some of those New York Times games, the ones that are still free, I go on those like minutes a day. You know, so little things where you're just on there minutes a day. I can kind of see that. I can kind of see that. All right, well, that was your responses. I don't think I got any over on Blue Sky, although I did share it there, but let me see. Voltron Pilot. I came for the Marvel IP and stayed for the gameplay. CCGs haven't been my favorite, so this was also a chance to learn and grow as a gamer, but my playtime has gone way down. I just skipped the Battle Pass for the first time, and I'm mobile only, so if they don't fix the bugs, I'm done. It's a shame, man. You'll have to tell me, are you on iOS? Because, like I said, I would love to know, because I really have a funny feeling that that's where their problems lie with the iOS. So people have to tell me and let me know for sure. All right, well, there you go. That is the request line for the week. Thank you all so much for sharing your thoughts. I really appreciate all of you. Rudbear, who wrote that their mom worked 20 plus years in hospice, and I answered, God bless. No idea how folks can do that. And he responded, I've got a superhero for a mom. You do indeed. You do indeed. I would certainly agree with that. I don't know. And listen, I don't know a lot about it. I'm not gonna pretend I do. You would have much more knowledge about hospice than me. I have not had any grandparents or anything in it. My grandparents died, either at home or more suddenly. I don't think I had anyone in hospice that I knew of. Where I got some of it from was just watching some things, documentaries and such. where, you see like the inside of that and what happens and stuff like that. So, yeah, like I said, you do indeed. That's, I don't know how people could do it, but thankfully there are people like your mom, that do this kind of thing, because it's just like nurses, doctors, and everything else. But, when you're a person who all you're seeing, every single day is death, that is just amazingly difficult. And so, yeah, I like I said, God bless. And it's great that your mom could do that. So, all righty, we're moving on. And we're going to go to Snap Talk. So we're going to go to my week in the game. Give me 1 second here to grab ye old iPad. Also, just today, I got in the mail. This is just a little aside, but I am very, very... I'm going to take a picture of this and put it out on my X and other places in a little bit. But this was super exciting to me. I saw an ad for this, and it's from Atari, so Atari.com. I saw an ad for an Intellivision Sprint. Now, I grew up with Intellivision. I never had an Atari. I know I think I've said this on the pod before. This thing is a replica of the original wood grain Intellivision. It's about the same size. The controllers are the exact same size, except they made the controllers wireless, and they're also wireless charging, and it has an HDMI connection to the console. It is freaking amazing. I am so stoked to have this. I grew up with this system, and I was playing all these games like Shark. All the sports games on this were amazing. So much better. Like back then, the graphics were way better than Atari. I love the football game. I love that. Now, the only thing was, you had to have friends to play it, because the sports games were mostly all two-player. But I figured out a way with holding the two controllers, one in one hand and one in the other. I was able to kind of play against myself when my friends weren't over the house playing. And it worked just fine. But, I mean, there was just so many. And these are just some of the games. Astro Smash, B-17 Bomber, Bomb Squad, Night Stalker, which was a great one, Space Battle, Star Strike, Sub Hunt, Super Pro Football, Thunder Castle, Tower of Doom, Utopia. Utopia was like an early version, a very early version of SimCity. You literally have two islands, and one player would play on one island. And this was one you could play on your own, but you'd build on the island, and you'd build like factories, and you'd put farms, and you would see like you'd have this little meter that would tell you how happy your island is, and then you would have you'd have a little ship. You'd have a ship that you'd go around. You'd fish. So you catch fish and stuff to control the hunger and stuff of the people. And then you would have pirates that would come, and the pirates would try to destroy your boat. And then you would have these invaders that would come and try to destroy your crops and stuff. Or no, I think there was insects that would destroy your crops. And you'd have these other things that would, and if there were two players, the other player could come and try to invade your island. We would play this for hours. Like, just sit there, and some people would look at it and say, my God, this must have been the most boring thing ever. Oh my God, we had so much fun. And I absolutely love the console, and I got it in today. I can't wait to play it. It is just going to bring back a ton of memories. And the fact that you can also download ROMs onto like a flash drive and put it right on there. And what it does is it'll show you, one of the games I was most fond of was Tron. They had Tron games on it, two of them. Tron Deadly Discs was the one that I liked the most. And then there was another one, Tron Mazatron, which is a god-awful. But Deadly Discs I loved. I think I actually got to one of the highest levels or highest boards in the game. And you can get those ROMs, put it on there, And when you see the main menu shows you the original box from the games. And if you download the ROM, it will show you the Tron box and stuff like that. And it also comes with all, they call them overlays, because the controller has it is a round little, it's not a joystick, but a round little dial at the bottom. And then it also has a number pad. And they would give you these little overlays for each game. So each game came with a set of 2, and you'd put them and slide them over the buttons. And the buttons did different things for each game, and the overlays told you what they were. And it also comes with all the overlays, 2 sets of them. So it's so cool. I love this retro kind of stuff, and especially when it works, when it works with modern technology, and it works on the controllers. Like I said, being wireless is very cool, and the fact that now it's HDMI compatible, that's awesome. So I just had to go off on a little tangent there. Sorry about that, but I'm super excited to play it. But all right, let's get into my week. I'm not going to go into details about last month at all, because last month is gone, and I think I finished at 80. I finished at 80 something, but luckily I am back in the 80s, and I'm actually higher than I was last month. So I've gotten to 87, and I will tell you what deck and share what deck that got me there. It is a safety blade cook, and let me tell you, it's pretty darn good. It's pretty darn good. So I'm at 87, and so I'm getting close to 90, which is cool. I didn't pass. I don't think I got past 86 all of last month, so I'm already doing a little better than I was. And then looking at these decks. So this deck in particular, this was a safety blade cook. Now I made a little bit of adjustment to it, but it is a Thanos list. And this kind of is good because there's tech. It combats the meta. It struggles a little bit with discard, but I did make a change today in it that seems to help a little better. So basically it has Chamber, Valentina, Cosmo, Mobius M. Mobius, Shadow King, Shang-Chi. I substituted Shang-Chi in on my own. Stardust, Cannonball, Cosmic Ghost Rider, The Thing First Steps. You know what? Honestly, The Thing First Steps I think is one of the best cards in the game. I really do. He is just very good. Mockingbird and Thanos. And then, of course, all the stones and everything like that. So that's the deck I've been playing. It is doing extremely well. And combats the meta very well. I think that the addition of the Shang-Chi, it used to be Wiccan. But I found that I wasn't getting the Wiccan a lot. Or I don't get the right, a lot of times, you could play the one stone on turn 1, but if you don't get a combination where you can get something out on turn 3, or maybe you only have one stone in your hand to put out on turn 2, you're already losing out on that Wiccan, and it just becomes a dead 4/6. So I figure the Shang-Chi would probably be better. So I did sub that in, but this has been very good. I've won a lot of games with it on ladder, so yeah, it's been very good though so far. I was also playing. How about this one? And this one I got from my Alliance. Someone in Alliance is playing this. And I honestly, this is a classic list. This is an old list. This has been around for a bit. And I didn't think it was going to really do that well. But you know what? I went and played some games on ladder with it, and it's taken people by surprise. This is an OG Galactus deck. And it's the one that has Selene in it. So Selene is going to make the goblins better. It makes Green Goblin at a 3-7, and it makes the Hobgoblin a 3-11. So if you have any of those in your starting hand and you have Selene, that's pretty good. A -7 and a -11, that hurts. Now, the Goblin, you're only going to be able to get him out. There is ramp in here. You've got Electro. So basically, it's Selene, Daredevil, Wolverine, Green Goblin, Electro, Wave. It's very classic Galactus because you got the Wolverine that's going to be able to move around. And then you've got Wave, you got Symbiote Spider-Man, you've got Hobgoblin, Null, Galactus, Alioth, and Death. So very old school. Because I used to have Death in mine, I used to have Null in it, I used to have Alioth in it, Hobgoblin, Green Goblin, Wolverine, Daredevil, and even Electro and Wave were all in my OG Galactus deck. So really the only newer additions were Symbiote Spider-Man and Selene. And this worked pretty well. I think I won like 5 or 6 straight games with it. And the fact that the discard players are filling those lanes, if you get that -11 Hobgoblin down or even that -7 Green Goblin down, it's going to be tough for them to do anything about it. So, and I can remember back in the day playing this ramp deck against discard, and I won almost all the time because the Galactus would absolutely wipe them out and there was nothing they could do about it. So that's that was actually winning me some games. Now, this is the deck that I used for Weapon H. This is Meek, Scorn, Blade, Morbius, Zombie Power Man, and Colonel America. Gambit, Corvus Glaive, Lady Sif, MODOK, Khonshu, and Weapon H. You'll notice no Apocalypse in this deck. I think I got this from Glazer. Snap Judgments. No Apocalypse in here because, as I said earlier on, I think it's just I think too much. I think it's just too much. Big guys in the deck. So I think this works better with it. Zombie Power Man and Colonel America are very good together in decks in this deck too. What else have I played? I tried this Eson list. I think this came from KM Best's Best Decks list. Quinjet, Chamber, Iron Patriot, Valentina, Shadow King, Luna Snow, Nick Fury, Cosmic Ghost Rider, Legion, Blink, Eson, and Galactus. Eson's just going to drag out some of those created cards that you get from Iron Patriot or Valentina or Nick Fury. So, he's going to just pull those out of your hand. And then, of course, Galactus First Step's just going to continue to grow. And you got some tech in here in the form of Shadow King and Cosmic Ghost Rider also. Tried some of those new War Machine decks, but I didn't take to them very much. I didn't think they were great. What else? There was a Hella deck that kind of caught my interest. And this one was just kind of a standard. It's Blade, Gambit, Shadow King, Corvus, Jubilee, Ghost Rider, Legion, Blink, Hella, Odin, Giganto, and the Infinite. I guess you could say it's probably a little bit of Dinesh. Dinesh's list, and with the Odin in it and stuff like that. So yeah, the Ghost Rider and everything. So nothing really that special. I tried a little bit of that, but those are the decks that I played for the most part during the course of the week. I just watched Bink's latest video. If you get a chance, check out Binks. He always does good stuff. He's one of the people that I watch regularly, along with Regis and Dexter, all very good at what they do. They're veterans of the stream game, and all very good at what they do for different reasons. And he came up with this tech deck, and it's Jennifer Kale, Penny Parker, Red Guardian, Killmonger, Shadow King, Luna Snow, Shang-Chi, Absorbing Man, Sarah. So it's Sarah Tech, Cosmic Ghost Rider, Cersei, and Doctor Doom. And he was doing pretty well with this. He was doing pretty well with this on his stream. So another pretty good deck. All right, now we will turn our attention to the variants. Let's look at the variants for the week. We have Omega Red. I just got him off the collection track, the Supja variant, which is very cool artwork. I like it. Kind of a little bit mix of like cartoony art, but very cool. I got the Sweeney Boo Colossus. That was one of the 700 variants that I always get free. I got the Cosmic Invasion Sentinel. I got the Cosmic Invasion Rocket Raccoon. The Cosmic Invasion Thanos, which is amazing. I got his avatar too. And I had to make it. He's now like my main Thanos in the deck. I just think it's wonderful in the white armor and everything like that. I love it. I got the Invisible Woman First Steps added Granov variant, which I had not had. I kind of like it. Her fingers are a little weird, though. She almost looks like she has Mr. Fantastic's powers. Like she's stretching a little bit. But I get it's like for depth. It's just showing the bottom of her glove, but I didn't have that one. I got the Black Panther Champion variant from Tribute Games for the... that's who does all these pixel variants, I think, yeah. Of course, Tribute Games, because they got the characters from them. So I got the Black Panther one, I got the Iron Man one, and the Annihilus, and the Cap. So I have all those. Wade Wilson, of course, got him. No variants on him yet. And then I got a Victor Farrow Deadpool variant. I got the Brett Bean Prowler. And I got the Supja variant of Sabretooth. And I think that's all for the week. So mostly all the pixels from the Cosmic Invasion game, which are all very cool. I mean, they are way, way back. We haven't really been getting pixels much at all lately. And I'll tell you what, I'll take these any day over any of the other ones. I hope they make all the rest because we don't have Spider-Man. We don't have Nova. So there's a lot of characters we don't have. I would love to see them make them all. I'd love to see them make a Galactus one. Because now Galactus isn't a playable character, so they probably won't. He's just kind of in the back of the board, but he looks cool with the curved antennas on the top of his helmet. So that's what I got in variants and stuff this week. And then we'll look at the shop real quick. I don't think there are any new albums. There's still the Chiola one that has the Prowler at the end of it. I've only gotten 3 of those, though. Man Spider, Spider-Man Noir. Thank you, Voltron Pilot, by the way. He gave me a tip saying, think of Guar and then say Noir. See, it worked. I remembered that. Guar Noir. And then, of course, I got the Uncle Ben one. So those are the only ones. That's the only albums that they've had out lately. In Conquest, I'm on my way to getting that Professor X card. That is done by Moon Colony. I need 3 more, so I'll get that next week. I played enough of that to work that to get that going. Which I don't think I've missed one yet. I don't think I've missed one of those yet, which is kind of cool, I guess. But yeah, I don't really think I've missed one. Grand Arena is still going. See what I got from this. Well, of course, all the variants that I was telling you guys. I got the 100 credits, the 50 credits, the variant cards, the Thanos avatar, and the Sentinel avatar. Still have yet to get the emote. That's a strong guy emote. I don't know. We'll see. I might get it. The Rainbow Refraction border, you can buy as many of those as you want, up to 12. Blue Fire as well. The Red Fire as well. Purple Cosmic, the same. And a Premium Mystery border. And then 1 regular Mystery border. Mystery Variant I didn't get yet either. But they're not almost worth it for me to try because I have all the 700s. So most of the time with those, I'm getting stupid. I'm getting avatars anyway. So I may just try to save up for the strong guy emote. And end up getting that. So yeah, that was essentially my week in Snap. Let's see what kind of bundles. There's a new collector bundle in here. This one isn't bad. It's a cool looking card. Creative House Pocket. 2,500 gold. And the card. So that's not bad, I guess, for 20, but still $20. It's a lot. It's a lot. And then the Weapon X. Let's see what's in my shop. There's a Weapon X variant in here for 1,200. Looks kind of cool. It's Pandart. We're getting so many of the studio variants. I really, it's a nitpicky kind of a thing, but I really would like to see, I'd like to see more of the artist stuff. I've got there's a Pandart of Deadpool there. I have so many Deadpools. The Tarot Wiccan, I don't like those. Tarot Shadow King too. Jim Lee variant of Professor X, Nullified variant of Shang-Chi, Peach Momoko Nightmare variant of Venom, and the Rian Gonzalez variant of Rogue. And yeah, so that's really it for the Snap Talk. So we are now going to head over to Comics Corner, where we are going to talk about Weapon H. Weapon H. Gonna hear all about Weapon H and where he came from. Clayton Cortez, Earth 6-1. About that, guys. I had to interrupt this regular scheduled podcast for an interruption on the phone. Oops. That's what happens when you record from your telephone. Anyway, but H Alpha, well, he's more like the Wolverine, but with far more discipline and control. The science will have the final word, but he may just be the perfect candidate, and that's from Aliana Alba. So, Clayton Cortez, known as Weapon H, has a tumultuous backstory marked by childhood trauma and a journey through military service and experimentation. Initially a U.S. Marine and later a contractor for Eagle Star International, his life took a drastic turn when he was captured and subjected to experiments by Dr. Aliana Alba of Weapon X's Batch H division. This division aimed to create powerful mutant-killing cyborgs, resulting in Clayton becoming Weapon H, a hybrid of Hulk and Wolverine. Weapon H's emergence coincided with clashes involving the Hulk, mutants, and the sinister schemes of organizations like Weapon X and Roxxon. His unique blend of abilities and consciousness led him to rebel against his creators, embarking on a mission to protect his family and confront the forces that sought to control him. Throughout his adventures, Weapon H faced off against various threats, including the creation of Roxxon's Your Wendigo, encounters with the brood-infested creatures engineered by Roxxon, and battles against the Skrullduggers unleashed upon Earth. Despite facing manipulation and coercion from entities like Roxxon and the Leader, Weapon H ultimately sought freedom for himself and his loved ones. His journey intersected with other iconic heroes such as the Hulk, Wolverine, Captain America, and Black Widow as he navigated through conflicts like the War of the Realms and the schemes of Carnage during the Absolute Carnage event. His name, of course, is Clayton Clay Cortez. That's easy initials to remember, right? CCC. Current alias Weapon H. Aliases were Batch H. Other aliases H Alpha, Hulkverine, and No Oblo. Affiliations, no groups, no relatives. He is married. Physical characteristics, of course, he's male. 6'1" is Clayton, 7'8" as Weapon H. Ooh, it's a big boy. 160 is Clayton, 1,505 pounds as Weapon H. Eyeballs are red as Weapon H. Irises are blue as Clayton. Hair is black. His skin is gray as Weapon H. Unusual features, claws and adamantium protrusions on upper arms, shoulders, and lower legs. He was a human transformed into a cyborg and mutated by Weapon X, using DNA from mutants and a gamma-mutated human. He's alive and was formerly deceased. Earth 616. Cause of death was killed by Deathlock Prime, and then revived by Deathlock Prime. So he killed him and brought him back. He is American. His occupation, he was an adventurer, an assassin, former mercenary, and soldier. Creators are Greg Pak and Mike Deodato Jr., and the first appearance is Totally Awesome Hulk, number 21 in 2017. So he's a relatively new character. All right, Clayton had a rough childhood as he'd been beaten by his father and bullies while growing up. He became a Marine, an Eagle Star contractor whose team was hired to take out the villagers of Ujanka for sabotaging a Roxxon pipeline. Growing a conscience amidst the massacre, Clay killed his own men, resulting in his capture and subsequent sale to Dr. Alba, the head of Weapon X Batch H division, which focused on the creation of Hulk/Wolverine hybrid mutant-killing cyborgs. H Alpha was different from Weapon X in other subjects in many ways. Firstly, he wasn't personally recruited by Director Stryker, so he wasn't a true believer of his cause. Secondly, Alba left more of his brain than in other subjects with the intention to better train and discipline him. When the Hulk and a group of mutants investigated Weapon X and raided their central command, H-Alpha had 15 minutes left of incubation before he could be released. The release of H-Beta brought Dr. Alba enough time to finish H-Alpha's process, and she eventually released him. H-Alpha joined the brawl between H-Beta and the Hulk. Due to his programming to act as an apex predator, H-Alpha beheaded H-Beta, then turned on his creators, which Alba theorized was because H-Alpha had enough of his original brain to resent the atrocities they did to him. Hulk held him back, and they continued fighting. Once the Weapon X staff had fled the scene, H-Alpha abruptly stopped fighting and escaped by jumping away. In order to protect the family he barely remembered he had, Weapon H went from Eagle Star Facility to Eagle Star Facility, wiping out every data about him so they had people like Stryker wouldn't target them. In one of such facilities, Clay ended up being injected with a nanite strain capable of resetting his command settings by Dr. Alba, who then commanded him to attack Stryker and his cyborgs. When Weapon H was commanded by Dr. Alba to kill the entire population of Phoenix to prove his perfection, the same group of mutants who raided the Weapon X Central Command with the Hulk, whom Weapon H had previously encountered and easily defeated, and Wolverine broke him free from Dr. Alba's control, prompting him to resume his mission of erasing any trace of his family to keep them safe. Trying to stay off the radar, Clayton tried to pass as a Spanish worker, but he eventually lost control and transformed. He attempted to stay away from civilians by hiding in the forest, but he found himself compelled to aid an archaeological expedition while keeping his distance after they were dropped without their rations case. When the expedition turned out to be a cover for the Roxxon Corporation to obtain a Wendigo, Clayton intervened and stopped the newly created Wendigo from killing Dr. Ella Sterling, exposing himself to Roxxon by doing so. Tried to get Dr. Sterling to safety afterwards, but the Wendigo caught him midair and took a bite of him, growing larger than before. As he was about to be eaten by the Wendigo, Dr. Strange, who had been observing everything from the Sanctum Sanctorum, burst onto the scene and shoot some magic arrows at the monster, making it release Weapon H. Weapon H allowed himself to be eaten by the monster so he could use Doctor Strange's axe to kill it from within. Wow, there's a lot of information here about him. In the Olympic National Park in Washington, a bunch of brood-infested wolves ran past some hikers as they hunted down Clay. After flashing back to a moment 7 years ago to his honeymoon with Sonia, Clay arrived in Bellevue as he tried not to turn into Weapon H. It was then revealed that the brood wolves were engineered by Roxxon under Dario Agger's orders as he instructed them to have the brood wolves attack people. Clay used his claws to save prisoners on work release in Roseburg, Oregon from the brood wolves. After slaying them, Clay turned into Weapon H to fight an Akanti and the brood drones that arrived. When Dario saw his fighting moves on the screen, a scientist stated that Weapon H somehow knew Krav Maga Jiu-Jitsu and the Break-Wind Death Punch. Break-Wind? Break World? What the hell am I thinking? Break World Death Punch? I was going to say, wait a minute, Break Wind Death Punch? Which Weapon H used to knock out the Akanti. Then brood sky sharks were unleashed as Weapon H started slaying them. Dario Agger had the scientists look up the database of the military organization that taught the moves that Weapon H had used on the brood-infested creatures. Afterwards, Weapon H ripped a brood human out of the Akanti as the brood human stated that Roxxon only wanted to hire him. While stating that people who hired him to protect people actually want to kill people, Weapon H had the brood human carry a message to Roxxon to leave him alone. Clay was later seen flashing back to a moment with Sonia, and Dario had the scientist initiate the spawn of a man-thing in the same forest. The man-thing attacked Weapon H, while Agger began talking to him through his fly spies. Threatening Clay, Weapon H managed to use Man-Thing's immolation touch to set the forest on fire. His wife arrived at the scene, and after subduing the monster, Weapon H threw Dr. Sterling and Sonia into a nearby lake before extinguishing the fire with his clap. Unfortunately, he was suddenly captured by a Roxxon aircraft, with Agger praising Clay's sacrifice. Agger bound Weapon H using an elvish binding scroll, forcing Clay to collaborate with the company. Seeing that Weapon H wouldn't comply, Agger had Dr. Baines to lobotomize him. However, Dr. Sterling intervened by shutting down the laboratory's power, allowing Weapon H to break free. As he escaped, Cortez came across the Brood hybrid, Blake and the Man-Thing in cages, begging him to set them free. He did so as they had been forced to follow Roxxon's orders. While fighting the security robots, Weapon H was reunited with Sterling and Sonya, only for Edgar to appear to them again. He explained that he needed them as they had opened a portal to a dimension filled with monsters, which also contained magic that could be used as unlimited power source. I didn't know he was so involved with Man-Thing. That's kind of cool. I mean, it does make sense because Man-Thing had always had issues with Roxxon. Because Roxxon was trying to take over the swamps and all that kind of stuff, and there was always that kind of battle between Man-Thing and Roxxon, so that's kind of cool. Said Weapon H was met with Korg. He was also joined again by Man-Thing, so yeah, there's a lot of team-ups, I guess, with him and Man-Thing. Titania and Angel. Then it goes on to talk about the Hulkverines, War of the Realms, and Absolute Carnage. His power, of course, he is a mutant, gamma mutate. Was subjected to all the experiments. His skeleton was bonded to adamantium. Possesses the ability to change to and from his human form. Been theorized nanotechnology reverse engineered from Lady Deathstrike could make this possible. Of course, has superhuman strength, superhuman leaping, superhuman speed and vulnerability. Retractable bone claws, extendable bone studs, projectile claws, regenerative healing, enhanced senses, probability field generation, alternate transformation. Could turn himself into several variations of Hulk, including Red Hulk, Harpy hybrid. Oh, the Red Hulk Harpy is in the. She's in the current run of the. That's I think that's Betty. I think that's Betty Ross. That was the Harpy. Full Red Hulk or imitate the leader's physical form. So wow, he can change in all those different things. That's pretty cool. He is an expert combatant, an expert marksman, and multilingual. His weakness is he has memory loss, suffers from amnesia, uncontrollable rage, and transformation burnouts. So there you go. A lot of stuff about Weapon H. I have never really read much about him. I may have to look into that now, especially knowing that he is he teams up a lot with my boy, with Man-Thing. All right, so we're going to go to Comics Corner. We're going to go to the Marvel Unlimited app, and we're going to look up Weapon H. Let's see if I could find these Man-Thing books that they're talking about. There he is. No description of him, though. I don't think. No, there is no description of him in here. Weapon H has his own comic from 2018 to 2019. So that's issue number 3, number 6, number 1, number 9. Yes, this is the whole run of it. Infinity Wars Weapon Hex. Secret Warps Weapon Hex. Weapon X-Men. It looks as if, for the most part, he has that one running series that ran through 2019. But it looks like, for the most part, he is kind of parts of other people's books. So I'm betting that the Man-Thing stuff is probably in Man-Thing books. I mean, there's a lot here. Obviously, a lot of stuff with Wolverine, Ghost Rider. Yeah, there's the Man-Thing stuff. So yeah, he just basically has that one series, it looks like, that lasted from 2018 to 2019. So, yeah. So if you want to read up on him, you want to find out more, Get the app, $9.99 a month. As I've said, it's a lot of cool stuff. They have a Christmas gift in here right now where you can gift somebody a 1-year sub for $50, which is pretty good considering it's $9.99 a month. So that's kind of cool. But all right, let me take a look and see what we've got new in the app this week and what I'll be reading. We have Marvel Rivals Unleashed Infinity Comic number 8. There's 2 of those running now. We have all new Venom, who is basically Mary Jane. Mary Jane is now Venom, and that's up to issue number 10. We have Gwenpool number 5. Legacy of Vader, which is that Kylo Ren story. That is up to number 8. I've been reading that. We have X-Men Age of Revelation Infinity Comic number 6. Those Infinity Comics are exclusive to the Marvel app. Uncanny X-Men number 28. Or I'm sorry, is that... number 20. Ultimate X-Men number 19. Avengers number 30. Oh, we got another new Star Wars book. This is a number 1. Han Solo Hunt for the Falcon. And it has Han, Chewie, and Lando on the cover. So that's kind of cool. That's a number 1. That's a spin-off. We have Moon Knight Fist of Khonshu's up to number 12. We have Magic up to number 9. We have Doctor Strange. Issue number 450. Holy. Wow, that's a running title for a long time. That's how Amazing Spider-Man used to be. We have Wolverine up to issue number 13. The Imperial War Exiles, that's issue number 1. Laura Kinney Wolverine, issue number 10. Spider-Man 94, issue number 1. So that's another new Spider-Man book. Looks like the classic 90s font and all that. We got the regular Amazing Spider-Man. Now, that's the restart of it. That's up to issue number 11. We got Marvel Meow, which is issue number 35. And we have Marvel Rivals Infinity Comic, which is issue number 31. So I will be reading some of that. Let's just take a look at the trending titles on the app real quick. The ones that are trending, Ultimate Spider-Man, of course. Oh, again, I'll say it. It's so sad it's ending. X-Men. Bring on the Bad Guys, Dormammu. Avengers. Imperial War. The Mighty Thor. West Coast Avengers. X-Men. Phoenix. Mephisto. Bring on the Bad Guys. Imperial War. X-Men again. Runaways. Death of the Silver Surfer. Emma Frost White Queen. Thing versus the Marvel Universe. Spider-Man, the Black Cat. Venom, Red or Black, White, and Blood, which I still have yet to read. So I got some stuff to catch up on. You guys, if you have a comic book store anywhere near you, please visit them. It's always awesome to just purchase the books and have them in your hand and to kind of smell that ink and stuff like that on the paper. It's always the best way to do it. But if you can't, the Marvel Unlimited app, the DC app, all those ones are very good to just get them on your iPad and read them there if you don't have one close to you. But I would always tell you to go and visit the comic book stores. All right. We're moving on, and it's time for the MCU Minute, which we're going to get into here. And the big news in the MCU is the pending Doomsday trailer. That is all the rage and all the news and all the rumors that it's spawning that people are talking about. So, we got news from the direct here, actually. Disney Plus calls it quits with the MCU's best TV franchise. The long-running Marvel TV story from 2021 will come to a close in 2026. Marvel's preparing to close the book. Oh, okay. This is the WandaVision story. It's hard to believe that came out in 2021. Oh my gosh. It says it will come to a definitive end in 2026 with Vision Quest. Studio confirmed that the upcoming series will serve as the concluding chapter of the trilogy that began with WandaVision in 2021 and continued with Agatha all along. With its trailer debut at New York Comic Con, Vision Quest puts the spotlight fully on Paul Bettany's synthesoid hero as he continues the story that began. I didn't even know there was a trailer. Continues the story that began with his post-Infinity War resurrection, set to arrive on Disney Plus in 2026. The series begins with White Vision struggling to reconnect with the memories he regained in Westview following WandaVision. So there you go. That will be coming out this year. Yeah, I had no idea there was a trailer for that at Comic-Con. This is a little disappointing. Fantastic Four First Step sets unwanted MCU record in Disney Plus debut. By now, it's no secret that Marvel Studios has had a rough year at the box office. Captain America Brave New World and Thunderbolts underperformed during their respective runs, and for the first time since 2011, no Marvel release ranks in the top 10 worldwide. Fantastic Four First Steps was the lone bright spot, tallying 21.8 million globally, which still wasn't as high as some might have liked. Given First Step's positive reception, one would have expected the film to be a big hit on Disney+. In an unexpected twist, the opposite seems to have happened. According to Nielsen data, Fantastic Four First Step scored just 4.9 million views over its first 5 days on Disney+. That, unfortunately, is the worst debut for an MCU movie on a streaming platform by Nielsen metrics. As a comparison, Brave New World netted 6.4. Wow, it didn't even outdo Brave New World. Ugh. During its first 5 days, and Thunderbolts reached 5.5. Wow, that's crazy. Says it's never good to break the record for lowest number of views, but things arguably aren't as dire for First Steps as might initially seem. For starters, Nielsen tracks only about 42,000 households across the United States, accumulating statistics from hubs that are installed and transmit data to Nielsen servers, and then estimates totals based on that data. As streaming on devices such as phones, computers, and tablets has become more prevalent, there have increasingly been concerns about the accuracy of Nielsen's figures since they focus on TV viewing specifically. This was very useful decades ago before the rise of technology. Case in point, shortly after Fantastic Four First Steps premiered on Disney in early November, it was the number one movie on the platform globally, according to Flix Patrol. This indicates that several Marvel fans made a point to queue First Steps up at home and watch or rewatch the superhero team's long-awaited MCU debut. So while Nielsen illustrates the ways Fantastic Four fell short, there are other metrics out there that show the film was a massive draw on the service, just like Brave New World and Thunderbolts were before it. It's also just one platform where Fantastic Four is available. The movie can be purchased or rented on digital storefronts like Apple and Amazon, plus it's now out on Blu-ray. So interested parties have a variety of other ways to watch it that may be not picked up by the Nielsen's rating. Biggest takeaway here is that there weren't many Nielsen households that watched it on a television, which really isn't a big deal in today's day and age. Having said that, it still isn't a great look. The only good thing about this all is Fantastic Four was not a high-budget film. It didn't take much to make, and so they did make money back on it. So, all right, here's the Doomsday stuff. Doomsday trailer length revealed. This is from Superhero Hype. First teaser is attached to James Cameron's Avatar: Fire and Ash, which hits theaters on December 19th. Whether or not Marvel decides to immediately release it online, I would think they would, just because of the fact that people are going to try to bootleg it. They're going to try to film it in the theater, which, by the way, I took a whole bunch of pictures of Galactus when I went to see First Steps, and I was at a matinee in the afternoon. So if anybody ever wants to film crap at a theater, that's the kind of movie they'd go to and just sit there with their phone, and nobody would probably say anything about it. Now, you can't put it on a YouTube page because you'll immediately get it taken down, but if you're just going to show it for your own purposes and stuff like that, it's not hard to do. Supposedly the rating time, according to a Korea media rating board, is 1 minute and 25 seconds or 85 seconds long. So it's not very long. It's going to be a very short teaser. Black Panther 3 movie gets an exciting release date update. Ryan Coogler, of course, directing. Black Panther 3 is expected to release in 2028, and he says, "I'm so fired up about that movie, bro." So that's kind of cool. So you get a release date for the next Black Panther. Huge MCU theory suggests this classic hero will team up with Doctor Doom. Just going to go through this and see. I don't want it to be spoilers. Oh, okay. Well, this is kind of cool. I mean, this is obviously not a spoiler. It's a speculation. But what they're talking about is Doom's connection to Namor. And they showed a comic panel here with Doom behind Namor. And this is a very early one. He's saying to him, imagine your great and proud people struggling for thousands of years, defeating all the terrors of the deep to build a civilization superb and beautiful. Yes, beautiful and glowing with life until that last terrifying moment when that monster of a bomb lodged in the midst of that beauty, gone. All that glorious history gone. In one brief instant, replaced by an ugly crater in the ocean floor, littered with fused masonry and bitter memories that cry out revenge. Revenge. So Doom's obviously trying to get him on his side. Among the Avengers characters cast in Doomsday is Namor the Submariner, the villain of Black Panther's Wakanda Forever. Will wind up being recruited to help the heroes oppose Doom, based partially on his Avengers membership in the comics, as well as Wakanda Forever, with ending with a Wakandan Tolokan alliance. He's not a cut-and-dry villain, but his history of Doom shouldn't be overlooked. Namor and Doctor Doom share a storied past, with the two often forming alliances in their efforts to defeat the Fantastic Four, specifically in the Silver Age. Their first team up against Marvel's First Family occurred in Fantastic Four 6, and it was far from the last time the two found common ground. Namor could side with Doctor Doom. Yeah, it would be kind of cool. I mean, they have done that in the comics. So that would be kind of neat. Kevin Feige appears in Lego Marvel Avengers Strange Tales. First time Feige has portrayed himself. Daredevil showrunner Stephen S. DeKnight says he wanted to make the series R-rated but was not allowed to. Said I had the PG-16 handcuffs on, where I could only go so far. That's a shame. That's why people liked it, I think, a lot more on Netflix. But in any case, that is pretty much the news. Not a whole lot. Again, I'm sure I'll have a lot more for you guys next week. In fact, if they do release the trailer, that's going to be, what did I say, the 19th. So we've got 9 days. So that's not next week, but the week after. And if they do release it on that day, let's see what day that is. That is a Friday. So if they do release the Doom trailer on Friday, if that comes out on the internet, I will do a special version of the pod for it. So I will do just like a quick trailer review. It'll probably be, maybe 20 minutes, half hour tops. But I will do a quick trailer review for you guys and go over it and cover it for the MCU portion of the show. So, all right. So that is the MCU minute. Now we're just going to get into my week in gaming. I played that new Marvel game. And I really had a blast. It's a lot of fun. If you're considering getting it, I would definitely suggest you do so. It's very retro, and it's a lot of fun. It's not super. I will say this: it's not super easy. Cosmic Invasion. It's not super easy. It is a little bit difficult. At times, you may have to get what you want to do is just get through it a little bit, get used to the fighting style, and then you want to get the better characters that get unlocked as you go. I've been playing with Spider-Man for the most part, but you can start with trying to think of the ones that you're able to start out with here. I think you could start with Wolverine. I think Nova's there. And then you're going to unlock some of the better characters later on as you go. Silver Surfer is an unlockable. Iron Man's an unlockable. Jean Grey is an unlockable. She-Hulk is unlockable. Phyla-Vell is an unlockable. Black Panther, I think, is an unlockable. Venom's one of the starter ones. Cosmic Ghost Rider. Nova, as I said. Storm. And then Beta Ray Bill is in it as well. But it's a lot of fun, and I'm really having a blast with it. It's available on everything: Switch, PS4, PS5, Xbox, PC, via Steam as well. But this is just a real blast. It really takes me back to the arcade style when I used to stand there with friends and play that X-Men game and spend countless quarters in it. Where you'd play, you'd get 4 of you. Each person could take a different character, and you're all playing as a team. It is a lot of fun, and I'm sure it's a lot of fun co-op. I'm still, I was looking for some other players. I know Lauren Whatevs is playing on the Switch, So it's hard to get together with people as much now because everybody plays at different times and everybody has different days off and such. But it was a lot of fun, and I would suggest you go out and get it. It's if you have a PS5, you can get it on the PlayStation 5 right now. There's a discount on it. It's $26.99, I think. And you can get it right on the system. You don't have to worry about getting the physical copy, which the physical copy is very hard to find. I don't know why that is, but I guess physical copies might just not be seeing all that much of them anymore. So yeah, but it's a lot of fun. Definitely recommended. I would definitely go and check that out. I'm trying to think. Now, and the other thing, of course, I talked at length already about the Star Wars CCG, the new digital card game. Let me see if there's any more news on that. I don't think so. Other than what I read out for you guys earlier, but I will check if there's been anything else said about it. I kind of doubt it. This is the one from StarWars.com. Yeah, this is what I read to you guys earlier. Just says stay tuned for more development. I doubt there'll be anything out other than that. Well, this is from PC Games. A mysterious new Star Wars CCG with an all-new roster is on the way. I might finally put Hearthstone on the bench, says the author. That's Lauren Burgeon from PC Games. I'm a closeted Star Wars nerd. One of my favorite childhood games was Lego Star Wars, General Grievous for the win, and I've spent many an hour exploring Respawn's take on the galaxy far, far away in Jedi Fallen Order and Survivor. But the Star Wars game I've been playing the most of late isn't available on Steam or Epic. Instead, I've had to venture out to my local game store and really delve into Star Wars Unlimited. I absolutely love the card game's unique ground and air mechanics, and I plowed far too much cash into building out my Leia deck, with help from some pals, of course. Imagine my reaction when I heard there's a new Star Wars CCG in the works. Spoiler alert, I'm excited. Lucasfilm Games has confirmed that a new Star Wars CCG, claiming it'll bring the saga to life in a fresh new way for the genre, developed by 036, a ByteDance studio, and CCG Lab, creator of the short-lived DC Dual Force. It promises an all-star roster that includes icons like Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker, who would be no doubt at the core of your decks. Together with 036 Studio and Lucasfilm, we're creating something truly exciting for players and fans alike. That's not much to go on for now, with no info on whether or not it will be PvP or PvE. We also don't have a concrete release window or even a year. But I wouldn't be surprised if we end up seeing more at the Game Awards this Thursday. That's right. The Game Awards are coming up actually tomorrow. So there may be some stuff. I'm looking forward to those too because I want more news about Halloween. I'm thinking we maybe get a larger trailer for that. We got one small one, which just showed Haddonfield and the play area there. But I'm hoping we get an actual gameplay trailer from it. And maybe we'll get more about this Star Wars game. Maybe why they talked about it. That it's coming. And maybe we'll get more about that from the Game Awards. That would be cool. We do know that the game will launch on Android, iOS, and PC, and I could also confirm that I'm getting the itch to play Star Wars Unlimited again. While my digital CCG experience is largely confined to Hearthstone, shocker, I know, I keep going back and forth on whether to try out the likes of Warhammer 40k, Warpforged, and Magic the Gathering Arena. Sure, I vibe with the grim darkness of the 41st millennium and the variety that Magic offers, but the promise of a CCG set in a galaxy far, far away might just convince me to take the plunge. So maybe we'll get more with the Video Game Awards coming tomorrow. It's very possible. We shall see. All right, guys, that is pretty much going to wrap things up here. I'm going to do the lyric in just a second. But before I do, I'm going to say that I am a member of the Snap Judgments League of Podcasts, where you will find such other amazing podcasts as, of course, Snap Judgments, Glazer and Roy's pod that they do every, I think it's Friday or Saturday. They have all kind of cool guests on there that are creators and stuff. They talk about decks, they talk about cards, they talk about all things Snap. And of course, don't forget to watch Glazer's videos that he does every single day. And I know he streams as well also. So please go check out Glazer. He's one of the best out there in Marvel Snap. and one I am proud to call a friend. And so check him out and his podcasts weekly and his videos daily. And of course, also Snap on This with Lauren Whatevs, It's Just Ree, and Benjamin Roller. They do an amazing job in the pod. Lauren was just on the Snapchat, which is amazing, and did a very good job on there. And of course, Ree and Ben are just amazing people as well. So make sure you check that out. They are out every single Friday. Yeah, let's get to the lyric and we'll close this thing out for the week. So we are going to go to, let's see. All right. This is an easy one, but I'm going to do it anyway because I think that I think it's just fun. It's just fun. It's an easy one, but you probably get it very easily, but it's just a fun one. It's just a fun one. All right, here we go. Are you ready? Oh, this is going to be too simple. Yeah, I can't do that. So, man. The problem is they mention him too much. Yeah, I can't do that one. I was going to do the animated series Spider-Man song, the one from 1967, but it's too simple because everybody would get it. It's just too easy. So, all right, let me think. Let me think here. All right, I've got it. I've got one. And this is a favorite of mine. This is a really good song. And I'll tell you, I'll give you a little hint. I heard this song first on a movie that I was watching on HBO once when I was very young. And I think, oh man, I think it was a might have been a Chevy Chase movie. I'm having a hard time remembering exactly what movie it was to this day, to be honest. Let me see. It's been in a lot of them, actually. I'm looking it up now, and I'm seeing... I can't remember. All right, but anyway, here we go. This is the one for this week. All right, here we go. I'd like to see you, but then again, that doesn't mean you mean that much to me. So if I call you, don't make a fuss. Don't tell your friends about the two of us. I keep your picture upon the wall. It hides a nasty stain that's lying there. So don't you ask me to give it back. I know you know it doesn't mean that much to me. There you go. That is the song. The song is indeed used in a Marvel film. I'm sure you could probably tell me what film it is. If you do, it's extra credit. But let me know what the lyric of the week is, what the song of the week is. And that is going to do it for this episode of Snap Decisions. Guys, have a great rest of your week in Snap. Don't pay attention to what morons say on Twitter because it's never worth your effort or your time. Yeah, enjoy the new car and enjoy the big dumb idiot, Weapon H, and enjoy the season however you choose to enjoy it. Oh, and by the way, we're getting to that time of the year. Be very careful out there, especially those of you. I mean, we got another like 3 inches of snow today. It just is, it's rough in a lot of places in the United States. It's cold. It's snowy. So please be careful out there. A lot of things happen around Christmas time, and you know, be careful driving, be careful where you go, and all that stuff. Stay safe. Be kind to one another always, especially when you're on the socials, because you never know what someone on the other side of that post is going through. So please be kind as much as you can. So, and hopefully stay safe, of course. And hopefully I will talk to you all in the next episode of Snap Decisions. Have a great week, guys. And I will talk to you all on the next one. This is your Snap DJ signing off.